go to Tracey Brown Live. Gals and guys, go to Tracey Brown Live. Go to Tracey Brown Live. Go to Tracey Brown Live. Gals and guys, go to Tracey Brown Live. Go to Tracey Brown Live. Go to Tracey Brown Live. Gals and guys, go to Tracey Brown Live. Go to Tracey Brown Live. Go to Tracey Brown Live.
Your show will go live in 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1. Log Talk Radio.
Good morning. Oh boy, my voice. Good morning, everyone. I don't know if I should have my earpiece on, but I'm not going to worry about it right now. How is everyone doing on this Saturday morning? And where are you on this Saturday morning? I know over here in all the Caribbean islands to the west, including Cuba, including Miami, we are expecting Hurricane Fiona to do a little bit of damage. Puerto Rico is slated to get more water damage, but I don't think it's going to hit Puerto Rico straight on so far. But hurricanes are unpredictable, and we just have to wait and see. What I love about hurricanes is how it could take 3 days to get to any one of these islands. So we're expecting the Virgin Islands, we're expecting to get hit somewhere around Monday. I thought it said Monday night. In any case, I'm just bracing myself for blackouts, and I have enough water, thank God, because when we have blackouts, the water disappears. I have alcohol to wipe down my body if I can't take a shower. Oh, child. Living third world is no joke, I'm telling you. But people often ask me, are you happy? And I am genuinely happy. I am genuinely in the happiest place I've been in my whole life. And I think I mean that location-wise. I think the only other place that I need to get to, I don't know if I need to live there, but I definitely need to get to is Africa. Turn you off. I need to get to Africa. And I feel like initially I'm going to make a trip to Africa. I feel like that is coming. My prayer is that I get to go to Africa next year. That's my prayer. And I put it out there, and I have expectations that that could be very, very real. And if God ever wants me to relocate to Africa, I would be open to it. Maybe not today, but you never know in 10 years what I might want to do. I'm completely open to returning to the motherland. I really believe the motherland is everything, right? I really believe that with all my heart. How's everyone doing today? Hi, Lisa D. Good health. Good health, sweetie, and everyone in the chat. Good morning, Miss Net Net. I did a segment last night talking about Miss Net Net on spirit animals, and take a listen back on it. Hi, Femproo. Oh, hi. Take a listen back on it, right? Because it was nice. It was nice. And then, I was wrapping it up anyway, but I noticed as I wanted to wrap up, more people had more questions. I was like, okay, so I'll keep it going. It's so funny. Everyone listens at first, and then they go questions, 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 questions. Hi, Intisar, Basha. Good morning. And last night I got a text. Right, I got a text from one of my group group mates, group mates from the book club, and she goes, "Hey, Tracy, I put Maxie down tonight." And she goes, "Just sharing because you knew my baby." But I have to tell you, it really took me out of pocket. I was so surprised at how shocked I was, even though she told me he had not been doing well. But it's still, what is it about death that just doesn't prepare you for death? You know, when we when somebody comes into the world, right? A baby comes in, we celebrate, we party, we prepare. We've got 9 months to prepare, and we're so happy for the mom and the baby to come through, and everybody wants to hold the baby. What is it about death that doesn't prepare us? Like, I don't know why it took me out of pocket, but it did. I was completely shocked at what I was feeling. But then we stayed on the phone. I did end the feed because I wanted to give some respect to her to her grieving, right? And then I realized that what's happening is we don't recognize death, even if death is waving at us, talking to us, dancing in front of us, like prepare, prepare. We just don't see death. I guess that's a good thing, huh? I guess God has a way of having our minds protect ourselves, right? We don't prepare for death. Thank you, Fembrew. Yeah, we don't prepare for death. So funny. Maybe we could do a Tracy After Dark on death one day. I don't know. But I called her, right? And she was so surprised that she's like, "My God." No, she didn't say my God, but that's the way I felt it. She goes, "Thank you for calling me. Thank you for calling me." And I want to pass that on to everyone. Like, be careful that you think your text message is enough. It's not enough. People need to hear your voice, right? They want to know in your voice that you're okay. They want to hear what you're going through. And when someone communicates with you with devastating news of any kind, don't judge what's devastating to somebody else, even if this has happened before, right? Just listen. Just take a moment and understand that today's a new pain. It's a different pain, right? Because maybe death doesn't come in an actual form of someone leaving this world. Maybe death is a slow movement from someone. And so each time you have an experience that breaks you, each time it's a death, right? If you're constantly trying to organize your life and someone keeps restructuring it for you, and you have to look at reality, right? And face some truths that you can't face, but you're forced to face, that's a form of death. It's a form of death of the soul, you know? So don't always just put a text out there or text back, right? I know that I was text because somewhere deep inside she wasn't sure if I cared, right? But no, I dropped the show, I dropped everything, and I was like, no, I care. I'm old fashioned. I care. I want to hear your voice. I want to make sure you're okay. Ultimately, we stayed on the phone for a while and ended up talking about the Queen and colonialism and what all that looks like. But then that was healthy because that means we were shifting from her sadness, from her doggy passing. Yeah, it was nice. Nice. hmm I just want to put that out there that people need more than what we're giving, and texting is just not enough. It's not enough. My son did that to me. You know, him and his wife caught COVID, and they thought it was okay to text me, and it wasn't. None of it was okay. And I didn't call them, I just panicked. And my way of solving a situation is through prayer. And so I put together, um, I don't know if it was a video, I think it was a video with a song, a message for everyone to pray for my son, pray for his wife. At the time, I didn't know the granddaughter also caught COVID. They didn't share that in the text message. And I posted to all my social media sites. And I felt really good about that because I understand my power. Like, I know I have power. Um, and so I texted and I remember saying, "You're going to be okay." And the two of them cussed me out in text message. They were like, "It's none of your business to be telling people." And I was like, "Wait, what the fuck?" And I was like, "You two," but they're sick. And I was like, "You two have got the last, this will be your last time telling me what to do." And I started laughing because I was like, they must be delirious. So I started laughing in text messages and telling them, go get well, go get well. But the more exchange we had, the more serious they got, which was like, you're sick, so you must be crazy at this point. At this point, you have to be crazy. And I'm going to suck it up to COVID making you crazy. And in the end, they stayed mad. They're still mad. And I wound up coming to the island without a single "I wish you well." And I'm telling you all of this because of the text message. People don't need text messages. And around November, my son calls me and he says, "Hey, Mom, I'd like to repair the family," in a text message. I'm like, oh my God, I haven't heard from these guys since late August when they caught COVID. And now I get this text message. And I knew the text message wasn't good. And I'm going through the text message and I just said to God, I said, don't let him ask for money. Let this be a genuine, I want to repair the family. Even though I didn't know what the problem was fully. And by the end of the text message, my son asked for $700. And I was like, oh, you don't want to repair this family. You're a trickster. You're a manipulator. And you're going to stop this today. And so I said, no, I'm by myself in the Caribbean, surviving by myself. No, you're going to find your way out. You're going to grow up. You're going to be with your family, and you and your wife are going to figure out what money problems you have, right? Well, I guess that made him mad. And he tried to call me, but I was working. And so I called him back. When I called him back, I reamed him. I was like, who the fuck do you think you are? Like, this is unacceptable. Blah, 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 blah. I went on and on and on. And then somehow his wife got on the phone, which was very disrespectful of her. And she gets on the phone and she's like, I think you and Brian have problems stemming from his childhood. And I was like, who the fuck are you? I don't even have problems with you, but I swear to God, you're gonna go down. And I was like, we wouldn't have this problem if Brian did not ask me for $700. If he would have just texted me and said, Mom, I love you, let's repair the family, this wouldn't be happening. But that's not what he did. You know, he gave out a whole text message, and by the end of the text message, can I please, wasn't even borrow, it was like have $700. And then she says to me, he didn't do that. And I said, he did. Why would I like, girl? Yes, he did. And so I sent her the text message. In any case, I haven't talked to them since November. I'm bringing this up because people, I know texting is a whole thing. I get it. But when it's something that someone's going through, like, pick up the goddamn phone. And I'm saying that because I knew not to text back to Kiana. Oh, sorry, Kiana. And say, oh, I'm so sorry. Fuck that. You need to put the texting down sometimes and pick up the phone and check on people. Seriously. Especially if they're texting you and be like, I'm not okay. What's going on? What's going on? Talk to me. And then listen. Just listen. Listening is a whole spiritual gift. I don't care how much you can identify. I had 3 animals, one I had to put down. Listen. Don't compete. Listen to people. Give them their moment. Let them cry. And last night, she started to cry, and then she held it back. And so I just kept her on the phone some more until she cried. And I was like, I didn't say that to her, but I was like, there you go. There you go. Let it out. In any case, Melissa. Aw. Hi, Melissa. How are you?
How are you? I only got to hear a little bit of a story. I said, oh my goodness, I forgot because, well, I didn't forget, but let me tell you something. This little munchkin right here, when you go outside, he feel like he wanted to be the boss of the block. And I said, it was 2 huskies, and they just looked like they just wanted to play with him. And he was just like, hell no. Get away from me. Get away from me. You don't belong here.
How are you doing?
I'm just taking it a little easy, you know?
Yes.
Just taking it easy.
Yes.
You know, I love the fact that, you know, picking up the phone and talking to somebody is way better than texting, to be honest. I think texting is just a way for people to disconnect. You won't know how they really feel because in texting, everybody thinks they know what that person's saying or feeling, but it's not true.
Yes. Yes. Well, Kiana called me last night and her doggy passed away.
Oh my God, I'm so sorry for her.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry for her loss.
Right?
That is family. And you know what?
Mm-hmm.
I love her dog.
Yes.
Her dog would sit there and know and be like, y'all read it? Just be there the whole time. It's so calm.
Mm-hmm.
And just want to be in her hand. I'm like, I said, I wish for that. For a dog who wants to be cuddled.
Yes.
That's a special dog.
Yes. Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Well, I'm grateful that she has, that she gets to go and talk to you. Because some people might not understand, right?
Right. Yeah.
It's a whole grieving process.
It's a whole process. I agree. Mm. Mm-hmm. Everyone's saying good morning, Melissa. Lisa D says good morning.
Good morning, good health.
Good morning and good health. So I know you had a rough week. I don't know if you want to disclose it, but how have you been managing?
Well, listen, Mercury retrograde. I don't know about y'all, but Mercury retrograde got me. I mean, for work, I was just like, okay, I'm arguing with all these people.
Yeah.
I get up in the morning and I'm getting ready for. I was one day I was at work and I was vacuuming. Yeah. I said, God, why the F you got me at this time?
Yeah.
I said, come on.
Yeah.
I was like, I was just upset because I was just so agitated, and it's just that I was having a moment, and I have to say that I've been through. It's like one thing after another. I feel like I don't know. Mercury retrograde feels like a tower.
It can.
Like a tower
No,
moment.
it is a tower, Melissa. Mercury retrograde is a full tower. Don't sleep. Don't sleep. It is. It's a lot.
It's a lot.
Whenever I do my readings, right, the tower will show up. Always during Mercury retrograde. And I'm always telling people, okay, there's going to be a blow up. This is not a win-win. So unless you want a different outcome, just nod and grin for 4 weeks. Nod and grin.
And it was just, and then it's like towards yesterday, I had to deal with my landlord, and I was just like, all right, I said, I'm going to take my sister's advice.
Mm-hmm.
I said, some people, I got to talk to them as if they're 2 or 3 years old.
Right.
Call it a day.
Right.
And I had to do that yesterday. I had to just let her rest, and then all I could say is, okay.
Good girl.
And I said, all right. I'm like, you have a blessed night.
Good girl. Good girl.
I have to because I was like, if I sit there arguing with someone that wants to stay in that energy, then it will escalate.
Yes.
So I was like, sometimes Mercury retrograde, you gotta learn to just let people be assholes, but don't try to fix them.
Ah, good point. Good point.
Don't fix them when they want to be an asshole.
Right.
When a 3-year-old having a tantrum, you can't fix it.
Yes.
My mom would be like, let your child, and your child is tantrum, let it just cry.
Yes, let it exhaust itself.
Let it kick on the floor.
Yeah.
Yeah. But you know how they throw their body on the floor being so dramatic?
Yes.
They think if they do that, the situation will change. And they know damn well it's not. But they try anyway.
Yes. Yes.
So, I definitely have to say that if you are having a rough week like I did,
yeah,
please make sure that y'all go and make sure that you go get a reading from Tracey.
Oh.
That's what my ass goes to. If I ain't getting it on Saturday, I'm taking it on Sunday. But
Yes.
I am going to book my reading.
Oh. I got you,
So you better
Melissa.
book yours too. You better book it too, because I'm like, they better, you know, if everybody listen, book yours too.
Yeah.
I feel like when you're having a roller coaster and stuff, sometimes you just need calmness
Yes.
and
Yes.
direction.
Yes. Right. Oh, I'm sorry.
Right.
Going through. Yeah.
So
I get it.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm definitely going to so definitely after the show, whatever place you got for today tomorrow, I'm going to book.
Okay. I got you, Melissa.
So yeah. But what else was I about to say? Other than the rough week, I did go to the doctor, right?
Okay.
And I went to the doctor, and I was complaining about back pain and stuff, and the lady looked at me because she's not my regular doctor. She said, you came in here 2 times with this situation. You should just refer you to people. And she said, we have a chiropractor.
Yeah.
Comes every Wednesday.
Yeah.
So she put a referral for me to go see the doctor.
Mm-hmm.
So I had to go to this little, it has like a little office here where you could go with somebody and set up your appointment, like the times or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of you doing it online yourself, so that can be a mess.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So I went and what did I do? Let's see if I can remember. So I went and the lady told me, the chiropractor's here. She said he's taking a 3 o'clock appointment. I think you should delay for me to take it, because he only comes on Wednesdays. And I said, oh wow, I got to see 2 doctors in one day.
Oh, you actually even went to see the chiropractor the same day?
Yeah, because I went to my appointment that was around 2 something
Yeah.
in the afternoon. Then I went to the chiropractor. As soon as she gave me the referral, I went to the front desk to get help to make an appointment.
Yeah.
And she was like, he's here only on Wednesday. She said, it's at 3 o'clock. You should take it. Same day.
Melissa, that's God's gift.
That is so. I was like, I didn't know they had it for. I said, okay.
That's God's gift. That's nice.
It was like, I know. It was like I went and to my regular. I went to not my regular doctor, but another doctor. My doctor for 3 months, and she made a referral for me to go to him.
Mm-hmm.
To a reference or whatever.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh wow.
Yeah.
So I said, let me just go.
Yeah.
And when I went to him, he so I went for an introduction to see like, well, you know, they give you a list to see what runs in your family and
yes.
stuff. I don't know why they need to know all of that, but that's
they do.
What they want to know, and like what hurts on your body.
Mm-hmm.
And so I heard a few cracks, like my neck and everything.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So he had explained that I have friction between like the back of my back. He said there's friction. But he said, you know, with you know, going to coming to chiropractor more often, you know, that he can help to fix it.
Yes.
And so I said, okay. And he made me walk the first time around just to see how I walk.
Mm-hmm.
Then he let me walk again just to see how my body is afterwards.
Mm-hmm.
And he told me to make sure that I take any type of, you know, like Tylenol or Advil, whatever you take, that medicine.
Yeah.
Because I have to tell y'all, I got on the bus after the session. I felt every bump,
Oh
every shove
no.
on the bus. And I said, my body hurts.
Oh no. No.
I felt every bump. And I was like, oh my God. I was like, oh, I see why he told me that I need to take Tylenol or whatever.
Yes.
You know, he said take it for a couple of days because now I realize, you know, your body went into shock from all that, you know, the cracking and the positioning your body.
Mm-hmm. Oh, wow.
So I'm definitely going to come back, but he has another practice where he's in the same town. That's a couple of blocks away, he was telling me. And he said I could go there, but he said he has more stuff, like he has everything in his office that, you know, that can help.
Yeah,
versus when I went to the doctor's office place where he just has just the bed in the room.
Got it. Yeah, go to his place. You know, Melissa?
Right.
Because I have to tell you, a chiropractor can change your whole life. Like, there's no reason to walk around with debilitating pain. There's no reason. There is something you could do about it, right? But most people don't tell someone like it could be a chiropractic issue. I don't understand that.
It's the first time I ever went to a doctor that told me go to a chiropractor. I'm going to refer you to a chiropractor. And the chiropractor took my insurance. So I'm like, okay, that's good. But I definitely want to make sure I book with him and go to his office.
Melissa, go often, right? It might even be more important today to go to the chiropractor more than your own doctor, right?
Right.
Yeah. Because especially... Go ahead.
Oh, no, go ahead.
Well, I was saying, especially since it sounds like you make regular visits to your doctor, right? So if you're the type of person that makes regular visits to your doctor, then it's okay to skip an appointment and go to the chiropractor instead, right? And I go to a chiropractor right now, and I'm on a 9-month program. 9 months. And at first it was 3 times a week, then it was reduced to 2 times a week, and finally I'm one time a week, but it's gonna go on for 9 months. And they helped me immediately, Melissa. My pain, my sciatic pain, my walk, oh my God, they helped me so much.
I get that too.
Right?
That thing that oh my God.
The sciatic pain?
I get that thing too where it's bad.
Yes.
Because I get it from my leg.
Yep.
From my leg to my butt to my back.
Yep.
I'm like, oh my God.
All of it. Yep. So I'm just saying, like, spend time and have a relationship with your chiropractor. I think people keep forgetting that, you know, you and I, Melissa, are having a relationship, right? And then you and I are having a relationship with our YouTube and Blog Talk people, right? And all those relationships need to be fostered always, right? And so you have to think of everything that you're doing as part of a relationship. You have a relationship with your regular doctor. That's your job, actually. have a relationship with your chiropractor, right? And allow his expertise to restructure your body, because it's a beautiful thing to be able to do that.
Because he was also saying, he's like, the work that you do.
Yes.
He was like, the work that you do is why your body's hurting you.
Yes. Yeah.
That you're doing the lifting, the pulling, you're and you know what too? Standing all day long.
Yeah.
Like, when do you really get to sit?
Yeah. All of it.
Yeah.
But now you're in a position to have health insurance, right? And God bless. Now you go to see your doctor, and your doctor's like annoyed, and she's like, go to a chiropractor. Annoyed, and it's like, okay. Here's a referral.
She was so annoyed. She was so annoyed. She didn't even touch me. That's how annoyed she was.
Yeah. Yeah. But remember, there's always a blessing. There's always a blessing in everything. So even though she was annoyed, it might have been, was she Asian?
No, she was white.
Oh.
A white older woman. She was annoyed. She was just like, no.
But she might have been annoyed in a way where, why weren't you ever referred to a chiropractor, right? Because like you said, it's not your regular doctor, right? Who should have been said something to you about a chiropractor. And here God replaces your doctor with somebody else. So she may not have been annoyed. Like angels come along and they're like, oh, why don't people do their job right? So the annoyance may not have been like annoyed at you, but annoyed with the system.
Right. That's true.
And Fembroy says,
I never thought about that.
yeah, Fembroy says, I think doctors get annoyed because they can't solve the problem. Yes. That could be so true too. Doctors are healers, right? So if they can't heal, she might get annoyed. But I want you to look at it a whole nother way, where God was like, I'm going to replace your visit, Melissa, with somebody else. And you may not appreciate her annoyance, but you're going to get what you want.
Right. She was calling me, listen, I just thought, she said, what pain medicine you need? I don't just feel it right now.
Wait, what did she say?
I said, wow.
What did she say?
What pain relief medicine you use? What pain relief medicine you use? Because he said, I'm going to refill it right now.
Because I'm going to refill it. She said, I'm going to refill it.
Yeah. Yep.
That was an angel, Melissa.
Yeah.
That was an
angel.
And
you know how I always get my migraine stuff. Because I suffer from migraines from, I'm going to say from age 17 and up.
Yeah.
I always had migraine.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. She was just, she gave me medicine for migraine medicine, but I'm going to say that migraine medicine, I think its judgment works better. But it just all depends on your body. And sometimes when I'm really agitated, nothing works. It's just like, my body just wants to be, just doesn't want me to do nothing. It just wants me to lay down.
Yeah, that's migraine.
And forget about everything around me.
Yeah, that's migraine. Yeah. But it sounds like this saintly doctor took care of you. Annoyed.
Yeah. She was annoyed. She even said to me, why nobody did anything to say migraine? Said, what's going on here? She's like, you need to go to a neurologist. just to check to see why you have, And I'm like, you know what? I said, let me just do whatever the lady wants me to do. Just
Yeah.
go.
Melissa, did she give you a referral for a neurologist?
Yeah.
All right, don't hear my ass. Go make that appointment too.
Yeah, I did that.
Good girl.
And she made one for like a bone doctor.
Oh.
That's for like the surgeon for the back.
Yeah.
But that was all the way in Connecticut, and that's nice. I'm not familiar with Connecticut because Connecticut's very far from me.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, I'm not doing that one, but because I remembered my aunt went and got surgery before on her back, and my great aunt was always saying that to do the back because sometimes you don't recover from that.
Yes,
right?
That's true, right?
It took my aunt out. It's like for the rest of your life, you're always gonna have. It's like trying to repair something that can't be repaired.
Yes.
So you're going back and forth with the knife. Constantly. So I was like, you know what? I said that part. I said I'll leave that alone.
Yes, I understand that part. I definitely understand that part because
it's like necessary. Like I have to. And,
and it's different.
Yeah.
No, I totally respect that part, right? Because also sometimes some doctors just like to operate, right? And I'm not no guinea pig, not on my back. We're not doing that. If I wind up in a car accident and my back is twisted up, all right, do what you got to do. But I'm not just gonna go in and be like, "Hey, doc, let's put some, nails in my back." No. Nope. But Melissa, I used to have a back problem, and I wound up at this chiropractor as well, and he put me. I like to call it like he put me on a slab, and he separated my back slowly so that my vertebrae can open up, and then he can push the swollen discs back in. And again, that saved my life because I had a permanent injury, and because I'm legally disabled, but nobody could figure out, like they knew what the problem was, right? But nobody could figure out how to heal the problem. And what I discovered is that they don't want to heal the problem. If you have bulging disc, they let you stay with the bulging disc, and then you just keep coming back to the same doctor for pain meds, blah, 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 right? And then I asked God for help. I was like, I was young. I was like in my 40s. And I was like, is this the rest of my life? And so I moved to Koreatown, and Koreatown had different commercials than the Valley in California. And I'm watching this commercial come on, and the doctor goes, come to the chiropractor. We can fix any back problem. And I was like, oh. And I went to go visit him, and they did an x-ray. They could tell it was bulging disc. It had not gotten out of control yet. And he's like, what we do is we separate, you lay down, and for about a half an hour, we slowly pull your body so that your vertebrae open up, and we allow the disc to go back in, right? And then they gave me steroid shots, which I love. Don't ask me why I love steroid shots, but oh, child, give me some steroid shots. And I don't know what it is. I love, but steroids are bad for you, by the way. But give me some steroid shots, right? And they would put the steroids in at the point of the back where my discs were bulging, so I wouldn't feel the pain as it was retracting. right? And this went on for about, I don't know, about 9 weeks. And Melissa, they saved my life. This procedure, I forget what it's called, but if I tell you the name of it, um, it saved my life. I mean, saved my life. So, you know, again, I want to say have a relationship with your chiropractor, right?
Right.
Yeah. You
Yeah,
deserve to
definitely gonna
give
do
that to
that.
yourself.
I said I'm definitely gonna do that. I mean, it was just kind of because I remember the last show we had. You know, we talked about. You know, you told me, you know what, go make an appointment. Go to the chiropractor, right?
Yeah.
And look how it popped up out of nowhere.
Yes. Yeah. That doesn't, but isn't that spirit, Melissa? Seriously, right?
Right.
Sometimes one person can be a trigger and then it'll show up and you're like, oh my God, wait, what? Okay, yeah, let me try chiropractor. You never know what God puts in someone's mouth for you to hear it better later.
Right.
I just can only tell you, I'm so proud of myself for going to a chiropractor. And Melissa, I do not have a car, right? I'm walking to the chiropractor, right? And I'm just so proud of myself. So go be proud of yourself for taking care of your body, Melissa. Excuse me, guys. All right.
All right. Definitely.
Yeah, you deserve this.
How you doing?
I think I'm emotional because of that hurricane. Because it's water, right? It's water.
Hurricane?
Yeah, we're in the middle of it right now. And this is my first experience in the Caribbean, right?
Right.
We have hurricane season from June to October, and we did not have a single issue in the summer. Not a single. I mean, we're still in summer, but not a single issue. And then these tropical stuff started coming through. And so today we're literally in the middle of a hurricane passing through. And the world just looks different during a hurricane, right? Like the trees are singing and swaying, and the skies are dark.
And the wind and everything.
The wind makes sounds, right? If you listen intently, the wind whistles, and then sometimes it doesn't whistle. Sometimes the wind rumbles, and then I live by the sea, so you hear the rumbling coming off the sea, and then you're like, what the fuck is that? Like, it's crazy.
It's like everybody's having, it just seems like even the water and trees are having their emotional reaction because they're feeling the force of the wind.
Yes. Yeah. And so, I don't know. I think it's making me like a little like emotional. And then I had to think of other things, right? Which I didn't process until I was on my feed yesterday. And I was like, oh my God, the electricity's going to go. So I'm not going to be able to cook in a minute, right? So I was like, oh my God, let me go to the supermarket and let me get some foods that I could eat cold, right? So I got some macaroni to make macaroni salad. I have tuna fish. I cooked bacon last night so I could make a BLT sandwich for dinner, right? And I made soup last night, right? on purpose. And then Sheraton told me how to take votive candles and put it on your stove, and you can heat up food that way. So I said, okay, let me make some soup. I made a big pot, but I can transfer a bowl into a smaller pot to heat that up, right?
Right.
And so just trying to do everything to figure out how to survive, because we're going to be in this through Tuesday morning.
Right.
So it's just
Definitely
different.
Water.
Got
Yeah,
water.
definitely make sure you got water.
Got water.
And candles is always good, and a flashlight.
Yes, got all of that. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I mean,
And,
I live on a very lit block. So when, oh no, wait, no, I'm thinking wrong. Oh boy. A total blackout is a total blackout. So it is what it is. I do have a book to read if the lights go out, right? So I'm just looking at it differently, right? And the book, I'm supposed to be reading this book anyway, preparing for, some discipline instructor of myself. So I was like, okay, if the lights go out, I'm definitely going to do what I need to do to read this book. But it's just emotional, right? Because I think it's the, water and rain is all about the emotions, right?
right.
So,
that's like here in New York.
Yeah.
We've been getting them hurricanes, and they black out everything.
Yeah.
I'll be like, everybody wants to, what the tumor, because everybody gets crazy and bad, but I really just the 5 things that don't get spoiled.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's a good thing too, peanut butter and jelly sandwich.
You know what, Melissa? I swear, I can't have jelly because it's too sweet, but I can have sugar-free blueberry, right? Cannot find the sugar-free blueberry, so I said, all right. I do have peanut butter here, and sometimes I can eat peanut butter alone, so I do have that.
I remember remember the elderberry jelly?
Yes. Girl.
I used to buy that on Amazon.
Yes.
I haven't buy it in years.
Listen.
But that's good jelly too.
Also, that we're coming up on flu season, right? So don't be afraid to order elderberry jam, right?
Right.
And it's much more popular now. Remember when it was the middle of the COVID and only one person was making elderberry jam? Did I send it to you, or did you order it yourself, Melissa?
No, you sent it to me.
Yeah,
and
right?
I was the exact same person that made it, and I ordered it.
Yes.
And I got 2 jars, and it was so good. I was just like, my mom's not a big jelly person. If it's not jam, then she doesn't want it.
Wait, Melissa, we got, I sent you Mrs. Miller's, everyone. Mrs. Miller's elderberry jelly. And let me tell you something. I don't know who Mrs. Miller is, but she got my vote for elderberry jelly. She ran out, right? Remember I told the public? She ran out. I told the public about this woman, and she wasn't in stock for months. Because I think this woman just makes it. It was so good, but
it was good, and I love that it was in a glass jar, and it was just so pretty. It was really good. I can just eat it.
I'm gonna send you the link, Melissa, because
Okay.
I'm gonna send you the link, and I just posted it for everyone to get their own. But listen, everyone, y'all ain't getting this elderberry without me, right? I'm gonna get my elderberry first. right? So let me put it in my cart. Let me put in my cart right now. And she's only got 17 left. Oh, wait. Oh, there's another one. Oh, yeah, it's only for $7, but you can get 2 for $11. All right.
Listen, the 2 for $11 is worth it because it's really good.
Exactly, especially if you have a.
Introduced me to that, I was just like, I could deal with this. I could eat this all the time.
Mm-hmm.
That was very good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Sim W is like, oh, Tracy, the hurricane came in? Yeah, child, it's here. Right now, it's intermittent rain, so it rains for 10 minutes, it stops, it traps the heat, you get all hot and sticky, and then boom, the rain comes in again. It's here. It's here. I hate that. It's here.
I have to say, Tracy, that my sister all the time tells me that my sister says when she's walking, like outside walking a little doggy and stuff,
Mm-hmm.
and she listens to the wind.
Yes.
And she said the wind speaks back to her.
Yes.
So I was like, I like that.
Me too.
I was like, well, and she's like, she listens. She's like, she talks. So you just gotta Yeah. You gotta have that discipline of being silent.
Yes. Yeah. You know what else I noticed, Melissa? You can always tell when the storm is over because the birds will chirp.
Ah.
Yep. Even if the weather doesn't show that the storm is over, the birds will chirp. And that's how you know the storm is past.
I love that.
Mm-hmm.
You get rainbows a lot over there by you?
I do. I see a lot of rainbows. I always want to post it, but then I feel like I'm bragging, so I don't always post the beautiful rainbows. Melissa, if you ever get to come here, you're going to see I literally face the sky, right? I literally face this vast sky and this vast ocean, literally. So the clouds talk to me, the rainbows show up, the sea, the moon. Melissa, the moon is in front of my house every single full moon.
Oh my God, that's so much energy.
Melissa, girl. It's in front of my house. Like at eye level. It is crazy.
That has to be amazing to see in person like that.
It's so amazing. And then my iPhone doesn't capture what my eyes see. Whatever I'm showing on
you know what? I don't know. It's like that. I think our phones are
I need a camera. I need a camera, Melissa.
You know what? The disposable cameras. I bet you, if we don't start going back to that, we capture more than we expect because we're using phones so much. We need to get back into that. Yes.
All right, sweetie. Are you ready to read?
Oh, yeah. I'm ready to read. Which chapter are we on? Like, what did you left off at?
Page 86. And
I gotta tell you, I picked up a new book.
Oh, what book?
The Four Agreements.
Yeah.
I remember we had the Four Agreements, but
yeah.
I gotta look. I thought there was a book that the guy had, and it was in Five Below.
Yeah.
Five Below's been having a lot of metaphysical stuff in there. I'm like,
they're all catching up these stores.
What's going on in here?
So you brought the Four Agreements?
I brought one of his books.
Yes.
I remember the Four Agreements.
Yes.
And I bought one of his books, and let me see, let me look it up again, because I was looking it up on Amazon, because I said, I got this book for $5. So I'm like, how much it costs, like, come on, Amazon. I'll be in slow with me. I want to see, I have to look. All right, let me see now. It's called The Circle of Fire.
Ooh, by the same author.
I got that for $5.
By the same author.
Yep.
Wow.
By Miguel Bruce, and it's called The Circle of Fire.
Oh, you gotta let me know what that's about.
Yep, and it's just it's an inspiration and guided meditation for living in love and happiness.
Wow.
And I said, I was like, I said, this is interesting for it to be there.
Yep.
So I just went and bought it.
Good for you. Good for you. Definitely a message book for you. Without a doubt.
Right.
All right, guys. Let me just catch you up a little bit if I can remember. The little boy hooked up with the Englishman. Do you remember the Englishman?
Oh, yeah.
And they were talking to each other, and at some point the Englishman said to the little boy, the little boy was saying how he put down his books to observe the travels, right? So he found himself visually looking and listening on the trip, as opposed to reading and not taking in his environment, right? And the old man was telling him about his books and what he's gotten out the books. And between the two of them, they decided to exchange. Like, the boy was like, I guess I need to read more books. And the old man was like, I guess I need to be more observant. So both did that. The boy read, and the old man was observant. And then I'm going to read this part, Melissa. And then one day the boy returned the books to the Englishman. And the Englishman said, did you learn anything? Eager to hear what the boy could have learned. He needed someone to talk to as to avoid thinking about the possibility of war. I learned the world has a soul, and that whoever understands that soul can also understand the language of things. I learned that many alchemists realized their personal legends and wound up discovering the soul of the world. They discovered a philosopher's stone and the elixir of life. But above all, I learned that these things are all so simple that they could be written on the surface of an emerald. The Englishman was disappointed. Yeah, the Englishman was disappointed. The years of research of the magic symbols, the strange words, and the laboratory equipment, none of this had made an impression on the boy. His soul must be too primitive to understand those things, thought the Englishman. He took back his books and packed them away again in their bags. Go back to your caravan, he said. That didn't teach me anything either. Meaning he was supposed to observe his environment with his eyes and his ears. And he goes, go away.
Right.
That didn't teach me anything, right? And the boy went back to contemplating the silence of the desert, like your sister said, listen to the wind. And the sand,
Right.
and the sand that's raised by animals. Everyone has his or her own way of learning things, the boy said to himself. His way isn't the same as mine, nor mine as his. But we're both in search of our personal legends, and I respect him for that. So we're seeing where the boy is constantly growing, and he's not taking anything personal, right? Like this Englishman was annoyed that the boy didn't understand how much work it takes to understand sigils and magic language and all. Like, you didn't get it, boy. But the boy did get it. He said it very clearly. I learned that the world has a soul, that whoever stands the soul can also understand the language of things. I learned that many alchemists realize their personal legends. Many alchemists realize their personal legends. Winding up, discovering the soul of the world, the philosopher's stone, the elixir of life. But above all, I learned that these things are all so simple. That's what pissed the old man off. That they could be written on the surface of an emerald. And that's what pissed the old man off. Because he's under the impression that in order to be intelligent or magical, it's got to be girth and hard work. And here this boy is figuring something out. It took him years to figure out. But I just love the fact that we're literally watching a boy grow up in this book. Right? Emotionally grow up. Intellectually grow. It's so beautiful. Like, to look at that and be like, oh, look, he figured something out. Even if the old man couldn't appreciate that. The old man, much like the crystal shop owner, is stuck. Right? Remember the crystal shop owner said, I'll never take a pilgrimage. I know it's too late for me. And the boy was like, it's not too late. It's never going to be too late. And in the end, what did he do? He didn't even say goodbye to the old man, right? And not because he was disgruntled, but it's just that when that relationship is over, it's just over. The goodbyes had already happened. And so here this boy think he's going to go back and be with his shepherds, when all of a sudden he's like, I'm going to do what the old man said he couldn't find it in his heart to do. I'm going to take this trip to Mecca. And here he is on these caravans having an experience. So I just, every person that this kid runs against is actually teaching him something. Right? Every experience he has is actually teaching him something. Are your eyes open to understand that, to see that, to appreciate that? Like you and the doctor, Melissa, she was annoyed, right? But she was annoyed because she was your angel. She wasn't even supposed to be there. She was annoyed because she's like, I gotta calm down, take care of Melissa. Girl, get in here, right? I'm gonna be that type of angel. I'm like, what do you want? What do you want? Right? And then I'm gonna grant wishes. I've already decided that's the type of angel I'm gonna be, but I may not be a nice angel. I mean, get in here. Get in here, girl, boy, right? I plan to be that type of angel. Right? I'm not gonna be like with wings and nope. So this boy's learning and growing, and once again, he keeps meeting up with people that don't get it. Funny how you could get it, but everyone else is not getting it, right? And I just thought it interesting that the last conversation he had with the old man was about Mecca. Because remember, we saw the old man change. We saw the old man make strides in understanding that this youthful kid came along and made his shop busy and fun and active. And at the very more alive. Thank you, Melissa. And at the very end, they had this conversation about Mecca, and the boy's like, "Do it, go to Mecca." And what did the old man do? No. So something about that conversation, even though the boy thought he was going to go back to be a shepherd, something about that conversation taught the boy something. I'm not going to let myself live this way. So I'm young enough to make this Mecca trip. I'm going to do this Mecca trip. Wait, Melissa. Fembrew goes, you are going to be that type of angel, Tracy. I had a reading. You got annoyed. But I remembered. Years later, I found out you were right. Aww. You know what Sky likes to say? Sky likes to see me as Ayana. You go, not on my watch. Oh my God. Okay, let's get this party started. Page 86, Melissa.
Okay, I'm on page 86.
Mm-hmm.
I started at the beginning?
Yes. Sorry. Where it says the caravan.
Oh, okay. The caravan began to travel day and night. The hooded Bandus.
I have no idea. Bedouins? I have no idea.
Bandus reappeared more and more frequently. And the camel driver, who had become a good friend of the boys, explained that the war between the tribes had already begun.
Mm.
The caravan would be very lucky to reach the oasis.
Mm.
The animals were exhausted, and the men talked among themselves less and less. The silence was the worst aspect of the night.
Mm.
When the mere ground of a camel, which before had been nothing but the ground of a camel.
Groan of a camel. Sorry, sweetie.
Groan of a camel. Now frightened everyone because it might signal a ride.
A raid.
A raid. The camel driver thought seemed not to be very concerned with the threat of war. I'm alive, he said to the boy as they ate a bunch of dates one night, with no fire or no moon. When I'm eating, that's all I think about. If I'm on the march, I just concentrate on marching. If I have to fight, it will be just as good a day to die as any other. Because I don't in either my past or my future, I'm interested only in the present. if you can concentrate always on the present, you'll be a happy man. You'll see that there is life in the desert, that there are stars in the heavens, and that tribesmen fight because they are part of the human race. Life will be a party for you, a grand festival, because life is the moment we live in right now. 2 nights later, as he was getting ready to bed down, the boy looked for the star. They followed every night. He thought that the horizon was a bit lower than it had been, because he seemed to see stars on the desert itself. It's the oasis, said the camel driver. Well, why don't we go there right now? The boy asked. Because we have to sleep. The boy awoke as the sun rose. There in front of him were the small stars had been the night before. Was an endless row of date palms stretching across the entire desert.
Right.
We've done it, said the Englishman, who had always awakened early. But the boy was quiet. He was at home with the silence of the desert. And he was content just to look at the trees. He still had a long way to go to reach the pyramid. And someday, this morning will just be a memory. But this was the present moment. The party the camel driver had mentioned, and he wanted to live it as he did the lessons of his past and his dreams of the future. Although the visions of the date palms would someday, be just a memory, right now it signifies shade, water, and a refuge from the war. Yesterday, the camel groaned
Signal.
signaled danger. And now a row of date palms could herald a miracle. The world speaks many languages, the boy thought. The time rushed past, and so do the caravan. Through the Alchemist, as he watched the hundreds of people and animals arrive at the oasis. People were shouting at the new arrival. Thus, I don't know how to say it's
Obscured.
The desert sun. And the boy of the oasis were rushing.
And the children of the oasis.
The children of the oasis were rushing.
Bursting.
With excitement.
Bursting.
With the excitement at the arrival of the strangers. The alchemist saw the tribal chief greet the leaders of the caravan and converse with him at length. but none of that mattered to the alchemist.
Yeah.
He had already seen many people come and go, and the desert remained as it was. He had seen kings and beggars walking the desert scene.
Right.
The guns were changed constantly by the wind. Yet these were the same scenes he had known since he was a child. He always enjoyed seeing the happiness that the travels experienced when, after weeks of yellow sand and blue skies, they first saw the green of the date palms. Maybe God created the desert so that the men could appreciate the date trees, he thought. He decided to concentrate on more particular
practical
matters. He knew that in the caravan there was a man to whom he was to teach some of his secrets. The omen had told him so. He didn't know the man yet, but his practice, I would recognize him when he appeared.
Right.
He hoped that it would be someone as capable as his previous apprentice.
Yes.
Okay, so we're on page 90.
Thank you, Melissa.
I don't know. You're welcome. I don't know why these things have to be transmuted by word of mouth, he thought. It wasn't exactly that they were secret. God revealed his secrets easily to all his creatures. He had only one explanation for this fact. Things have to be transmuted this way because they were made up from the pure life. And this kind of life cannot be captured in a picture or word. Because people become fascinated with pictures and words and wind up forgetting the language of the world.
Wow. That reminds me. Wait, Melissa, that reminds me when I was talking about the moon, and I was like,
right,
the phone doesn't capture what I see, but now look, I got my answer. Because people become fascinated with pictures and words and wind up forgetting the language of the world. Wow. That's deep. So maybe there's just some things that can't be shared, right? Maybe that's a moment in time and you're not going to get that back again. So maybe God is trying to say, just relax and enjoy this moment, right?
Right.
It's deep.
Like enjoying the present moment.
Yes, that's what the boy said, right? Yes, enjoy today.
Right.
I mean, that's what the guy said to the boy. He's like, I don't worry about the past, I don't worry about the future. The only thing I worry about is right now. And that's exactly what you said just now. Yeah, enjoy the present today. Yeah, that's deep. It's deep. It's nice, too.
It is deep.
It's a nice reminder for all of us. Okay, go ahead, Melissa.
Okay. The boy couldn't believe what he was seeing. The oasis, rather than being just a well surrounding by a few palm trees, as he had seen once in a geographic book, was much larger than many towns back in Spain. There were 300 wells, 50,000 date trees, and innumerable colored tents spread among them. It looks like 1,001 night, said the Englishman, impatient to meet with the alchemist. They were surrounded by children, curious to look at the animals and the people that were arriving. The men of the oasis waited to know if they had seen any fighting, and the women competed. The women competed with one another for access to the cloth and the precious stones bought by the merchant. The silence of the desert was a distant dream. The travelers in the caravan were talking intensely. Or is it? Yeah, I said that right. Intensely.
Incessantly. I'm sorry. Incessantly. Or maybe it's ancestrally. But it's all right. We're close.
Yeah. Laughing and shouting as if they emerged from the spiritual world and found themselves once again in the world of people. They were relieved. They had been talking carefully, precautious in the desert. But the camel driver explained to the boy that oases were always considered to be neutral territories because the majority of the inhabitants were women and children. There were throughout the desert, but the tribesmen fought the desert, leaving the oasis as a place of refuge.
Yes.
With some difficulty, the leader of the caravan brought all his people together and gave them his instructions. The group was to remain there at the oasis until the conflict between the tribes was over. Since they were visitors, they would have to share living space with those who lived there and would be giving the best accommodation. That was the law of hospitality. Then he asked that everyone, including his own sentinel, hand over their arms to be to the man appointed by the tribal chieftain. Those are the rules of war, the leader explained. The oasis may not shelter armies or troops. To the voice, the Englishman took a chrome-plated revolver out of his bag and gave it to the men who were collecting the armors.
Mm-hmm.
Why a revolver, he asked. It helped me to trust in people, the Englishman answered. Meanwhile, the boy thought about his treasure. The closer he got to the realization of his dream, the more difficult things became. It seemed as if what the old king had called beginner luck were no longer functioning. In his pursuit of the dream, he was being constantly subject to tests of his
Persistence.
persistent and courage. So he could not be hasty nor impatient.
Mm-hmm.
If he pushed forward impulsively, he would fail to see the signs and omens left by God along his path. God placed them along my path. He had surprised himself with the thought. Until then, he had considered the omens to be things of the world, like eating or sleeping, or seeking love or finding a job. He had never thought of them in the terms of a language used by God to indicate what he should do. Don't be impatient. He repeated to himself. It's like the camel driver said, eat when it's time to eat, and move along when it's time to move along.
Yes.
The first day, everyone slept from exhaustion, including the Englishman. The boy was assigned a place far from his friends in a tent with 5 other young men of about his age. They were people of the desert and clamored to hear his story about the great city. The boy told them about his life as a shepherd and was about to tell them of his experience as a crystal shop when the Englishman came into the tent. I've been looking for you all morning, he said, as he lead the boy outside. I need you to help me find out where the alchemist lived. First, they tried to find him on their own, and the alchemist would probably live in a manner that was different from that of the rest of the people at the oasis. And it was likely that in his tent an oven was continuously burning. They searched everywhere and found that the oasis was much larger than they could have imagined. There was hundreds of tents. We're wasting almost the entire day, said the Englishman, sitting down with the boy near one of the wells. Well, maybe we better ask someone, the boy suggested. The Englishman didn't want to tell others about his reason for being at the oasis and could not make up his mind. But finally he agreed that the boy who spoke better Arabic than he should do so. The boy approached a woman who had come to the well to fill a goat skin with water. Good afternoon, Mama. Or is it, do I say it like that, Mama, or?
Ma'am.
Huh?
Ma'am. Good afternoon,
good
ma'am.
Afternoon, Good afternoon, ma'am. I'm trying to find out where the alchemist lives here at the Oasis. The woman said she had never heard of such a person and hurried away. But before she fled, she advised the boy that he had better not try to converse with women who were dressed in black because they were married women. He should respect tradition. The Englishman was disappointed. It seemed he had made the long journey for nothing. The boy was, and we're on page 94. The boy was also saddened. His friend was in pursuit of his personal legend. And when someone was in such pursuit, the entire universe made an effort to help him succeed. That what the old king had said. He couldn't have been wrong. I had never heard of the alchemist before, the boy said. Maybe no one here has either. The Englishman's eyes lit up. That's it? Maybe no one here knows what an alchemist is. Find out who it is who cures the people's illness. Several women dressed in black came to the well for water, but the boy would speak to none of them. Despised the Englishman intensely.
Hold on a second, I missed it. Intense, yes.
Then a man approached. Do you know someone here who cures people's illness? The boy asked. Allah cures our illness, said the man clearly, frightened of the stranger. You're looking for a witch, doctor? He spoke some verses from the Quran, and moved on. Another man appeared. He was older and was carrying a small bucket. The boy repeated his question. Why do you want to find that sort of person, the Arabic asked? Because my friend here has struggled for many months in order to meet him, the boy said. If such a man is here at the Oasis, he must be a very powerful one. The old man, after thinking for a few moments, not even the tribal chiefs are able to see him when they want to. Only and he consents. Wait for the end of the war, then leave with the caravan. Don't try to enter into the Oasis, he said, and walked away. But the Englishman was it exalted. They were on the right track. Finally, a woman approached who was not dressed in black. She had a vessel on her shoulder, and her head was covered by a veil. but her face wasn't covered.
Mm.
The boy approached her to ask about the alchemist. At that moment, it seemed to him that the time stood still, and the soul of the world surged within him. When he looked into her dark eyes and saw that her lips were poised between a laugh and silence, he learned the most important of the language that all the world spoke, the language that everyone on earth was capable of understanding in their hearts. It was love.
Mm.
Sometimes older than humanity, more ancient than the desert. Something that
Exerted.
exerted
Sorry, sweetie.
the same exerted
Yes, you did right. I'm sorry.
the same force whenever two pairs of eyes met, as had their hair at the well. She smiled, and that was certainly an omen. The omen he had been waiting without even knowing he was for all his life. The omen he had sought to find with his cheek and his book in the crystals and in the silence of the desert. It was a pure language of the world. It required no explanation, just as the universe needs none as it travels through endless times. What the boy felt at the moment was that he was in the presence of the only woman in his life, and that no need for words. She recognized the same thing. He was more certain of it than one another in the world. He had been told by his parents and grandparents that he must fall in love and really know a person before becoming committed. But maybe people who felt the way had never learned the universal language. Because when you know that language, it's easy to understand that someone in the world awaits you. Whether it's in the middle of the desert or in a great city. And when two such people encounter each other and their eyes meet, the past and the future becomes unimportant. Unimportant.
Unimportant, yes.
There is only that moment and the incredible certainly that everything under the sun has been written by one hand only. It is the hand that invokes love and creates a twin soul for every person in the world. Without such love, one dream would have no meaning. Monk Talk thought the boy. The Englishman shook the boy. Come on, ask her. The boy stepped closer to the girl. And when she stopped, he did the same. What's your name? He asked. Fatima?
Yep.
The girl said. Averting her eyes. that's what women, that's what some women in my country are called.
Mm-hmm.
It's the name of the prophet's daughter. Fatima said.
Mm-hmm.
That invaded carry the name everywhere. The beautiful girl spoke of the invader with pride.
Mm-hmm.
The Englishman
Prodded
him, and the boy asked her about the man who cured people's illness. That the man who knows all the secrets of the world. She said he communicates with the genius of the desert.
With the genies.
The genies?
With the genies of the
with
desert.
The genie.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. He communicates with the genies of the desert. The genies were the spirit of good and evil.
Mm.
And the girl pointed to the south, indicating that it was there. The strange man lived.
Yes.
Then she filled her vessel with water and left.
Mm.
The Englishman vanished too, gone to find the alchemist. And the boy sat there by the well for a long time, remembering that one day in Taiwan, the levitator had brought to him the perfume of that woman and realized that he had loved her before he ever even knew she existed. He knew that his love for her would enable him to discover every treasure in the world. The next day, the boy returned to the well, hoping to see a girl. To his surprise, the Englishman was there looking out at the desert. And we are on page 98. I waited all afternoon and evening, he said. He appeared with the first stars of the evening. I told him what I was seeking, and he asked me if I had ever transformed lead into gold. I told him that was what I had come here to learn. He told me I should try to do so. That all he said, go and try. The boy didn't say anything. The poor Englishman had traveled all this way, only to be told that he should repeat what he had already done so many times. So then try. He said to the Englishman, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to start now. As the Englishman left, Fatima arrived and filled her vessel with water. I came to tell you just one thing, the boy said. I want you to be my wife. I love you. The girl dropped the container and the water spilled. I'm going to wait here for you every day. I have crossed the desert in search of the treasure that is somewhere near the pyramid. And for me, the war seemed a curse. But now it's a blessing because it brought me to you. The war is going to end someday, the girl said. The boy looked around him and at the date palm. He reminded himself that he had been a shepherd and that he could be a shepherd again. Fatima was more important than his treasure. The tribesmen are always in search of treasure, the girl said, as if he had guessed what he was thinking. And the women of the desert are proud of their tribesmen. She refilled her vessel and left. The boy went to the well every day to meet with Fatima. He told her about his life as a shepherd and the king and about the crystal shop. They became friends. And except for the 15 minutes he spent with her, 15 minutes he spent with her each day seemed that it would never pass. When he had been at the oasis for almost a month, the leader of the caravan called a meeting of all the people traveling with him. We don't know when the war will end, so we can't continue our journey, he said. The battle may last for a long time, perhaps even years. There's a powerful force on both sides, and the war is important to both armies. It's not a battle of good against evil. It is a war between forces that are fighting for the balance of power. And when that type of battle begins, it lasts longer than others because Allah is on both sides.
Oh, wow. Interesting.
The people went back to where they were living, and the boy went to meet with Fatima that afternoon. He told her about the morning meeting. The day after we met, Fatima said, "You told me that you loved me. Then you taught me something of the universal language and the soul of the world. Because of that, I have become a part of you."
Wow.
The boy listened to the sound of her voice and thought it to be more beautiful than the sound of the wind in the date palms. I have been waiting for you here at the oasis for a long time. I have forgotten about my past, about my tradition, and the way in which men of the desert expect women to behave. Ever since I was a child, I have dreamed that the desert would bring me a wonderful present. Now my present has arrived, and it's you. The boy wanted to take her hand, but Fatima's hand held to the handle of her jug. You have told me about your dream, about the old king and your treasure, and you told me about almonds. So now I fear
90 seconds.
It was those almonds that brought you to me, and I am a part of your dream, a part of your personal legend, as you call it. That's why I want you to continue towards your goal. If you have to wait until the war is over,
60 seconds.
but if you have to go before then, go on in pursuit of your dream. The
Dooms
are changed. The dooms are changed by the wind, but the desert never changed. That's the way it will. That's the way it will be with our love for each other. Bong Tuck said, she said, if I'm really a part of your dream, you'll come back one day. The boy was sad as he
10
left
seconds.
left her that day. He thought of all the married shepherds he had known. They had a difficult time convincing their wives that they had to go off into a distant field. Love requires them to stay with the people they love. He told Fatima that at their next meeting, the desert takes our men from us, and they don't always return, she said. We know that, and we are used to it. Those who don't return become a part of the clouds, a part of the animals that hid in the
ravines
at the ravine, and of the water that comes from the earth. They become a part of everything. They become of the world.
Mm.
Some do come back. And then the other women are happy because they believe that their man may one day return as well. I used to look at those women and envy them their happiness. Now I too will be one of the women who wait. I'm a desert woman, and I'm proud of it. I want my husband to wander as free as the wind that shapes the
dunes.
And if I have to, I will accept the fact that he has become a part of the clouds and the animals in the water of the desert. The boy went to look for the Englishman. He wanted to tell him about Fatima. He was surprised when he saw that the Englishman had built himself a furnace outside his tent. It was a straight furnace fueled by firewood with a transparent black heating on the top.
Mm-hmm.
As the Englishman starts.
Okay, let me just finish this part, everyone. It was a strange furnace fueled by firewood with a transparent flax heating on top. As the Englishman stared out at the desert, his eyes seemed brighter than they had when he was reading his books. This is the first phase of the job, he said. I have to separate out the sulfur. To do that successfully, I must have no fear of failure. It was my fear of failure that kept me from attempting the master work. Now I'm beginning what I could have started 10 years ago. But I'm happy at least. I didn't wait 20 years. He continued to feed the fire, and the boy stayed on until the desert turned pink in the setting sun. He felt the urge to go out into the desert to see if its silence held the answers to his questions. He wandered for a while, keeping the date palms of the oasis within his sight. He listened to the wind and felt the stones beneath his feet. Here and there he found a shell and realized the desert in remote times had been a sea. He sat on a stone, allowing himself to become hypnotized by the horizon. He tried to deal with the concept of love as distinct from possession and couldn't separate them. But Fatima was a woman of the desert, and if anything could help him understand, it was the desert. As he sat there thinking, he sensed movement above him. Looking up, he saw a pair of hawks flying in the sky. He watched the hawks as they drifted in the wind, although their flight appeared to have no pattern. It made a certain kind of sense to the boy. It was just that he couldn't grasp what it meant. He followed the movement of the birds, trying to read something in it. Maybe these birds could explain to him the meaning of love without ownership. Ooh. All right, guys. I just wanted to point out one quick thing, and that was, I'll find it next week. That was where the genies, the next day, the boy, we don't know when the war would end, he says, so we can't continue our journey. The battle may last for a long time, even years. There are powerful forces on both sides, and the war is important to both armies. It's not a battle of good against evil. It's a war between forces that are fighting for the power of balance. And when that type of battle begins, it lasts longer than others because Allah is on both sides. So I'm wondering if that's what this Ukraine war is about, right? Is the Ukraine war about power, right? And I know that America was in Afghanistan way too long, and we now know that that was definitely about power, and it lasted way too long. But I like the part where he says, Allah, God, is on both sides. I think that's the takeaway for today. That any argument, any war, any disagreement, God is on both sides. Oh, ciao. All right, guys. Thank you so much. Thank you, Melissa. Thank you, Melissa. Thank you, everyone. And we'll do this next week. I hope you got something out of today. And if we didn't get anything out of the day, the very last part, that God is on both sides, like take that with you, because that is crazy. And remember that the next time you're in an argument with a close friend, an intimate partner, your children, remember that God is on both sides. And that might be a lesson for me too. All right, guys. Love you all. Take it easy. Bye. Thanks, Melissa and Tracy. Thanks, Lottie. Bye. It was deep, Melissa. Thank you, Melissa. Bye.
Gals and guys, go to Tracey Brown Live. Go to Tracey Brown Live. Go to Tracey Brown Live. Gals and guys, go to Tracey Brown Live. Go to Tracey Brown Live. Go to Tracey Brown Live. Gals and guys, go to Tracey Brown Live. Go to Tracey Brown Live. Go to Tracey Brown Live. Gals and guys, go to Tracey Brown Live.